by film.
5,
Stand by music.
4,
Stand by announce.
3, 2, 1.
And fade up.
They're the Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks of Hobbs. American public, you are worthless.
Can't account for taste.
Nice. Your teaser from earlier on the loose adaptation.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
Shove that Pulitzer Prize square up your ass.
I'm so happy.
I'm as best as you're gonna get, ladies. So here you go. We have.
Shut up!
Then it's not a four.
Masturbatory bullshit. I get the joke now.
Hey,
Stupid,
kids.
wonderful thing. Yeah.
Here's some stickers.
Are you in the crosshairs of the woke mob?
To the bridge of Kazakh Doom.
What is happening in my mouth?
Pumpkin spice lattes.
I was the mark?
You were the mark, man.
You want to get high together? You want to drink?
Cinema.
Subterfuge, machinations. Wow.
Wow.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, well, welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of 20 Years, 4 Beers. We are a podcast dedicated to rewatching movies from at least 2 decades ago, while simultaneously enjoying a minimum of 4 modern beers. My name is Steve, and this is my big brother,
Tim.
and we are coming to you from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have just watched and recorded our episode on Heat, and as usual, we sit down and discuss another film over another beer. So we refer to these episodes as our happy hour episodes.
Hey, you guys. Happy hour is from 4 to 6.
On this happy hour, we will finish our look back to 1995, kind of, for this particular round of recording. And we will be covering the Ron Howard-directed space classic, Apollo 13. Apollo 13 is Apollo 13. If you don't know by now, where you been?
How'd you
decorate
decorate
a cave?
the cave you live in?
But at its core, it is the true story of the doomed Apollo 13 mission to the moon in 1970. Beginning with the original moon landing, we follow our astronauts through their training and up to their launch. And so from the launch to perilous landing, spoiler alert, not sure what else to say about it at this point. As I was typing earlier today, like, how do I describe this movie? At this point, if you don't know, get on fucking board. The film was directed by Ron Howard, adapted by William Broyles Jr. and Al Reinert, and stars Tom Hanks, Bill Paxton, Kevin Bacon, Gary Sinise, Ed Harris, and look at that, a woman, Kathleen Quinlan. Hey, look at you.
So you're telling me you can only give our guys 45 hours? That brings them to about there. Gentlemen, that's not acceptable.
Gene, we gotta talk about power here. Whoa, guys! Power is everything. Power is everything.
What do you mean?
Without it, they don't talk to us, they don't correct their trajectory, they don't turn the heat shield around. We gotta turn everything off. Now. They're not gonna make it to re-entry.
What do you mean, everything?
With everything on, the LEM draws 60 amps. At that rate, in 16 hours, the batteries are dead, not 45. And so's the crew. We gotta get them down to 12 amps. 12 amps? How many? You can't run a vacuum cleaner on 12 amps, John. We gotta turn off. We have to turn off the radars, cabin heater, instrument displays, the guidance computer, the whole smack.
Whoa, guidance computer. What if they need to do another burn? Gene, they won't even know which way they're pointed.
The more time we talk down here, the more juice they waste up there. I've been looking at the data for the past hour.
That's the deal?
That's the deal.
Okay, John. Minute we finish the burn, we'll power down the LEM.
All right.
Now, in the meantime, we're gonna have a frozen command module up there. In a couple days, we're gonna have to power it up using nothing but the re-entry batteries.
We've been tried before.
Hell, we've never even simulated it before, Gene.
Well, we're gonna have to figure it out. I want people in our simulators, working re-entry scenarios. I want you guys to find every engineer who designed every switch, every circuit, every transistor, and every light bulb that's up there. Then I want you to talk to the guy in the assembly line who actually built the thing. Find out how to squeeze every amp out of both of these goddamn machines. I want this mark all the way back to Earth with time to spare. We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not gonna lose one on my watch. Failure is not an option.
Come on, not my beer.
with our reactions and verdicts to the movie out of the way, we move on to the reactions to our beers that we drank while rewatching our subject movie.
And if you want to have sex with a disgusting bad brewer with a terrible attitude,
this is where we take a look back at our beers and give our expert ratings for our drinking buddies.
ugh, whatever. Hey, here's the truth.
This is Drinking Buddies.
Let's get weird.
Oddly enough.
So good.
All right. So my drinking buddies, I already know we double up on this because I saw your list on the internet earlier today. But we had the Red Chair.
Deschutes
Red Chair Northwest
Yes.
Pale Ale or whatever it is.
That's awesome.
Is it an IPA or Pale Ale? I didn't even know.
Pale Ale.
Yeah.
Northwestern Pale Ale.
Yeah, the Northwestern Pale Ale. It's seasonal. And
It's been a long time, actually.
I'm surprised.
I can't remember the last time I've seen it.
Oh, really?
Like,
Yeah.
in terms of being out in the liquor store, like maybe like 2-3 years.
Yeah, and it's
So I was
really
like,
good. So I've gotten a couple of 12 packs, not to say I'm drinking too much, but I'm just saying, like, I've had a couple of 12 packs recently.
Sure.
It's outstanding. I have a 4 out of 5. This is just standard, really well done. Just a pale ale, especially a mass produced one.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yes.
Deschutes, I assume, is owned by one of the InBev / whatever people.
I don't want to think.
But I don't care because what they do well is really good.
Yep.
And then out of oh my god, I didn't have my note typed up, but now I'm saying Resist is out of where am I thinking?
Eau Claire.
Eau Claire. And
Brewing
it's
Project.
Brewing Project beer. Thank you. They had a Resist their double vanilla
Whoa.
milkshake IPA. A little too sweet because the
Sure.
regular Resist is really good, but anything in that Resist sort of umbrella
Totally.
is really outstanding. And a 4 out of 5 as well on that one. I mean, come on, it's really solid.
Yeah.
So those were my two. So obviously, not to spoil
love it.
one of yours.
Oh, it's a good teaser.
Yeah.
Yes, it was one of those things that I was looking at this week and I walked by. I'm like, holy crap. I truly cannot remember the last time I've seen it in the liquor store. So I'm like, yep. And
Well, that's like it happened with Sugar Shack when you bought that from.
What?
Yeah. Then
Street,
I was at Total Wine or whatever, and I was like, I'm buying more. I mean, once I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic pale, because pale ales to me like just kind of are just meh.
Yeah, they can be
But
for sure.
This has a great bite to it.
Yep.
I love it. Yeah, 4 as well. So I had that this week, and then Big Axe out of
I'm curious.
Brainerd area, I would say. Their Stonehouse Coffee Stout, and I would say I never seek out anything Big Axe.
No.
It's profoundly disappointing.
Yeah, every time.
Except for this.
Really?
It's a really solid coffee stout. I'd give it like a 4 in terms of a great balance, a really good coffee, flavor to it, but not where it's like, yikes, it's overwhelming. It's a really good. So to their credit,
well,
I enjoyed it a lot.
And that's what I think sometimes we get frustrated about coffee stouts is I feel like, and again, neither of us brew beer. We're just really good at drinking it. But like,
correct.
How bad do you have to be to not give me a decent coffee flavor in a stout?
Yeah.
And speaking of other stouts, what do we got next, Tim?
Nice. Well done.
Thank you.
So then Junkyard Brewing out of Moorhead, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Fargo, their Bleed Green Irish style stout. I'd say like a 3.5.
Yeah, it's fine.
For me. And I don't know if it's like an Irish stout thing where it's got to have like a little bitterness or kind of like bite to it. And I got it this week because I'm like, you know what? Top of the morning for the Irish day on Monday.
Whatever.
No, truly. I was like, yeah,
I get it.
I have that. Yeah, it's a 3.5. It's fine.
I'm going to go under 3.5. And it's because like, I don't know if they added liquid smoke to it or what. Like, this is not a traditional Irish stout. Like, if I were to have an Irish stout, it would have not this much bite on my tongue.
Yeah.
Like, it would not have that sort of like, like, traditional Irish stouts. Yeah, they have a little bite.
Sure.
But they're smoother than this. This seems like
it's pretty dry.
Aggressively
It's pretty
dry.
Yeah.
So, like me, it's just I and it's disappointing because it's Drecker. Like, you've been around long
Junkyard.
enough,
Yes.
Well, I mean, let's face it, 6 of one, half of the other at that point.
I agree.
It's Junkyard.
They've been doing a while.
But like, you've been doing this long enough to know better than this.
Yeah.
Like, I have the same problem with Fair State when they F their stuff up. Like, you know better.
Yeah.
Like, you're not some small neighborhood brewery that just opened up
Trying
that
to
may
figure
be
it
like,
out.
oh yeah, you're trying to figure it out. You know better than this.
Yep.
I will not finish this. I'll have a few more sips of it and I will be done. And which at that point, it's not good enough. It's not a 3.5
we
at that point.
we could change it up.
No, I'm just saying.
We get more beer?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of beer in the house, but I just, it's the worst beer of the night though.
I agree. It's like
And so obviously we're just, if you're listening to just this one for the first time ever, we record two in a night. But like, yeah, this is by far and away. We had 6 earlier, and now this is our 7th.
Yeah.
This is by far and away the worst beer of the night. That's
I
why I'm
agree.
saying, like,
I
I'm
agree.
coming in at,
it's the
so I'm
most.
going to go under what the other ones were. So, yeah. And you would think
Mhm.
if you were drunk, which we're not because
No.
we split the
We
beers,
split a
but if
bunch,
you
yep.
were, you'd be like, oh, this is actually pretty solid. Look at
Yeah.
us. No, this is not very good. So, you know what, Junkyard? Do better.
Yeah, we'll change it up.
Okay.
If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you'd have invented Facebook.
This is a social network
You don't have to be an intellectual property expert to understand the difference between right and wrong.
where we take a look back at the critical and fan reception from 2 decades ago.
Mark!
As usual, Tim takes point on this, so take it away, Tim.
You better lawyer up, asshole. Because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for every $1 billion.
So the IMDb rating. Care to guess what it is?
I think I might have cheated and seen it's like 7 point
7.7.
I'm very disappointed how low it was.
It's
for this
absurdly
movie.
low.
I was like,
Hold up.
if I would have bet any movie was over 8 minimum.
Yes.
Like, so you're telling me that 23% of the people who watched this movie gave it a negative
Like,
rating?
Thumbs down.
Eat
yeah.
a bag of dicks,
Yeah.
23%. Like,
I was like, that's absurdly low.
I'll accept the fact that no movie is ever over 9 for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, I get that part.
Yeah.
7.7?
Yeah. I was like,
Bullshit.
that's ridiculously low.
I mean, I appreciate that Heat. This is Heat was like 8 point something.
8.3 or something.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm saying, arguably, more action happens in Apollo 13 in terms of like that sort of visceral whatever.
Intensity, yeah.
All right.
Michael Wilmington of the Chicago Tribune.
You better have liked it,
said
Michael.
Apollo 13, one of the most exciting adventure movies of the year, proves that science history can be just as thrilling as science fiction. Owen Gleiberman of Entertainment Weekly said the film chronicles one of the most dramatic of all space flights, an American catastrophe that became an American victory. And it does this in a way that's so authentic, so brilliant in its technical details, that it succeeds in putting us on that ship.
Mm-hmm.
We do have to drink a different beer, by the way. My mouth is dry.
Can't do it.
From this damn thing.
Yeah. I
Dear
know.
God. Okay.
Again, it's like having,
Sorry.
you know, like how Scotch is like
Yeah.
peaty. So in that sense, they probably like maybe tried to do too much.
It's like hard to even say this stuff.
can't even-
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Sorry. And the last one, Roger Ebert, 4-4,
Yeah.
said Howard's.
Raj knew what was up here.
Oh, he said Howard's direction is single-minded, offering no additional side stories or needless parallel dramas,
Totally.
which a lesser director might have included, and with an attention to detail that makes it all riveting, even when we know the outcome. By telling the rescue story like a docudrama using extensive practical effects, it feels as if it was shot on location in outer space. It is one of the year's best films, a powerful movie about men trained to do a job who end up doing a better one than anyone could have imagined. And I had forgotten, actually, Academy Awards that year was up for 9 nominations,
Yep.
ultimately winning 2. So for the nominations, it was visual effects, set decoration, adapted screenplay, original score, supporting actress, supporting actor, and picture. And then it won for best sound
yeah.
and for best editing.
If I remember correctly, this is, I don't know like the exact Guild Awards, but this was the first year that the Producers Guild, the Writers Guild, the Directors Guild, and like all those sort of precursors came. Like there were other ones before that, but when they were all sort of like in 1985 was the first year.
Yep.
And Apollo 13 had won all of the major precursors.
Yep.
And then it did lose the Golden Globes, which is not a precursor to Braveheart for drama.
Sure.
But then ended up losing a Best Picture. Like, it was a shock at the time.
Yeah.
Neither of us were like that into the Oscars necessarily at the time, but yeah, it is 9 Oscars.
That's crazy.
Oh man, we're gonna talk a lot about this in a little bit.
But we got to get a different beer.
Oh yeah, go do it. We begin our discussion with our reaction segment that we call Spotlight.
This is Boston, and the church does not want them to be found. So, they are not there.
This is where we highlight and discuss our top takeaways of any kind from rewatching our subject film.
We've got 2 stories here. We've got a story about degenerate clergy, and we've got a story about a bunch of lawyers turning child abuse into a cottage industry.
If there were 90 of these bastards, people would know.
Maybe they do.
This is Spotlight.
They knew, and they let it happen.
Just gonna riff away for a little bit while Tim is getting us our next beer. I will just say that I watched this with my son, and I was really hoping that he wanted to watch this. And we're about an hour in, and he's like, "I think I'm about done. That was a good time." All right.
We've had different prize.
Oh, yeah.
Like peach sour, like the one for Oh Brother, where it was like the prize winning blueberry cobbler type of thing. But I was like, nope. Okay.
Well.
Are we back?
Oh, I've been recording the whole time. So.
By yourself?
Yeah, I was riffing a little bit at first, and then I just like silent, and Tim comes in. I'll figure out a way to edit it later.
Okay. We've introduced prize.
So
brewing.
our next beer from the one we didn't like is what, Tim? We'll go back to Drinking Buddies here for a second.
Prize Brewing out of Minneapolis.
Yeah.
They're kind of flagship, I
think
would say.
So, yeah.
They're Miraculum Midwest IPA, one that we've had at different times, but never really on the podcast before.
No. And it's fine,
you
but
know,
boy, is it way better than what we were just drinking.
That's drinkable. That's not going to make me like weirdly parched as we talk.
I know. I'm more like, I was thirsty.
Yeah.
You don't, a beer shouldn't make you thirsty after
this. Okay, here we go.
All right, Tim.
All right, Apollo 13.
Apollo 13, Spotlight. Go, good sir.
So, I will admit, I don't know the last time I've seen this.
Oh, really?
And as much as like...
You and I are out, I could tell you the exact... Yeah.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
It's actually... Just watching it again this week,
mm-hmm.
I forgot how it's just a perfect film.
It's perfect.
Like, it's weird.
Yep.
We'll talk through it, but there are no notes from me in terms of like, I wish they would have or whatever, like kind of thinking like it's a flat out, just flawless film from start to finish in my view.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's like, I read somewhere like they took historical license in the drama. Like, I don't give a shit. What works for the movie.
It's not a documentary.
Yes.
It's a movie.
It works
It's
perfectly.
a fictional telling of the film.
And it is
of the real life. Yeah.
It is the prime example.
Yep.
When we talk about you can know the ending.
Yes.
Of a film and yet be on the edge of your seat.
Yep.
Because we've lamented in different episodes, obviously, like, I can't stand prequels or stuff that's going to explain stuff ahead of time. And you don't give a shit because you know people will get through it or whatever. But I always say it doesn't have to be that way. You could have a movie like this that you know they're going to survive.
Yeah.
And yet unbelievably tense. And actually to the point where it's so well done that if this was a fake story, you'd go bullshit.
Yes.
Like you'd go, there's no way. Like I think of The Martian.
Yeah, or Gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And those work for those stories.
Yeah.
But you can you go, okay, they're like telling a fake, but this, everything that happens, you'd go, I completely think it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Or just narrative manipulation. Except it's effing real.
For the most part, it's very real.
Sure. So anyway, I loved it.
Yep.
Loved it watching again.
I can tell you the last time I saw this movie because I watch it probably annually. I would say this is likely in my top 10 movies I have seen the most times.
Nice.
maybe outside the top 10 if you consider Disney movies as a kid or whatever,
Sure.
But as an adult, this is definitely in my top 10. I watch it probably annually. It is a movie I put on when I want to feel something.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like, it is. I unapologetically love this movie, and this is like, as much as we love Heat, I can understand people who maybe, like, if the
Sure.
ratings were reversed on this,
Yep.
I could be like, okay, 7.7. I could see how some people may think Heat is a little
I get
boring
that,
at
yep.
times or whatever. I am not here for people who will tell me they don't like Apollo 13. Like, that is one of those, like,
It's a litmus test.
yes,
Like, I don't know if we can be
I'm
friends.
not here for you. I will say, like, I riffed about it earlier, and I won't include it. But maybe I will. Maybe I'll like
We'll
clip
see.
it at the beginning.
Yeah.
I watched this with my son, and he had recently watched Lincoln, and so I was like, "Oh,
All
all
right.
right, you like historical movies? That's you love U.S. history. He's in a U.S. history class at
Yeah.
school, so all right, let's watch Apollo 13.
Yeah.
This is great." Now, circumstances being what they are, outside of, if all things have been equal, it might have been better. Boy, about an hour in, he was like, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. And I think that's where it is, to your point. Like, I don't know if in my opinion, as an adult, this is a perfect film.
Yes.
Like, I go into this as an adult, a thinking frontal lobe adult, with the capacity for abstract thought, and I want you to give me a well thought out story, craft it in a way that I care about everybody involved, and I don't want anyone to die. Like, I don't want any, like, I want, but I want peril, and I want that sort of feeling, and in the end, I want to feel that release at the end, like. This and that's where I'm a little sad he didn't finish it with me. Like, I just was like, oh man, it just ramps up a little bit.
Yes.
This is we talked about with Heat, we've talked about it in the past. This is an adult movie. This is a movie that expects you to pay attention.
Yep.
Doesn't expect you to like piece out a mystery along the way. We talked about it in the last episode with Nolan or whatever. I'm not asking you to do that, but I'm asking you to just focus for 2 hours and 40 minutes or whatever it is. 2 hours and 20 minutes. I have one minor quibble about this movie as it's aged, but beyond that, yeah. So get ready, folks. But what do you got?
What's that point? Like, you think about, the marketing when it came out, and I mean, the tagline is "Houston, we have a problem."
Right, yeah.
So, unless you were somehow completely oblivious, to what the film, why would I buy a ticket to a movie I have no idea what's like? Sure, I'll check this out. Like, you have a concept of shit's going to go sideways.
Yeah,
great. It is 35 minutes into the movie. I stopped it before they even get to space.
Is that little? I almost would have thought it would have been longer.
It's 50 minutes before the tanks blow.
Yeah.
And so I think about, it's a 2 hour and 20-minute movie, and it's almost an hour in before shit goes sideways.
Right.
And that's, again, a testament to, we are going to have you become invested in these characters.
Yeah.
To see what it was like. And it's the pieces that pay off, where it's going to be, we're going to show some cool footage of how they've overcome, like, I forget the Apollo mission, maybe it was Apollo 1, where they died, the fire.
Oh, yeah, Apollo 8 or 6 or whatever
it's
it
like
was.
they die. And so it's like you see the risk that they are going to be taking, because modern audiences, 25 years after,
I didn't know that existed.
No, like, you just
I
know,
did not
they
know
went to the
that
moon.
they had,
yes, but you didn't realize what, like, the sacrifices made.
Yeah, you
prior
start
to
with that, and then you jump to the moon landing.
Yes,
which,
and it's like, great, here we go. And so, again, you introduce the characters and you build the world around it, and you start to realize, so then when it works for, we've got these characters and they're building, and then, 2 days prior, their team is going to be disrupted. and we're going to introduce a backup character into the team. So you're already laying the like you know it's going to go sideways. But again, the how it all historically you think about worked out. So then 50 minutes in, almost an hour, nothing has really happened as far as I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, not from it. Yeah, yep.
But again, you appreciate the audience, like you said, to pay attention and take it seriously.
Yes.
And care about it. So then when it does start to break down and things get worse and worse and worse, you are now invested.
Yeah.
If you were like, let's go 10 minutes in and really quick get to it, you wouldn't care.
No.
And so I think that's just a great testament.
No. Yep.
Again, perfect.
Again, I'm asking, oh boy, I can't even imagine if I met, I don't know what I would do if I met somebody who told me that they didn't like this movie. Like, I don't, this is our 126th episode. If anyone listening doesn't like this movie, get the fuck out. Like, I don't understand how you could possibly watch this movie and say, as an adult who understands film, like, kids, I get it, they're boring, or I'm not arguing that.
Yeah,
but, like, as an adult, I just cannot fathom watching this and not just being in awe of everything involved.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about, before I go too far down the
love fest.
It's going to be rough. This might be my favorite movie we cover the entire time of I love this movie. So anyway, the practical effect, the use of practical, honest to God effects here. We talked about it in Heat. We talked about, like, I wish more and more movies would use this. And this is why Christopher Nolan is so great now, because he will use visual effects. He will use those special effects as need be. But they try their damnedest to do a real practical effect. And it just makes, short of, like, I will say, short of using puppets for characters, that's a different, like, that sometimes can be distracting. It's fun with Star Wars, because it's kind of like old school. But, like, if I'm trying to create a digital effect of a character, I want it to be realistic as best I can. But short of that, realistic, tangible, tactile things I feel like I could go out and touch. Like, this movie is unprecedented, unbelievable.
Oh,
in their attention to detail, the willingness to do the whole, like, because, you know, they go up in the plane and then they, like, drop to do the 0G for 90 seconds at a time.
Yes.
And they're filming this shit over and over and over and over and over again, as opposed to just trying to figure out a way to do a gimbal thing where they just, like, are hanging there. Like, so, like, speaking of The Martian. Yeah. The Martian, they don't do that.
No.
The Martian is, they develop technology to kind of do that, and it works. But it's not the same.
No.
It does look a little weird when Jessica Chastain is, like, going down, like, the big corridor or whatever, like, floating weirdly. Like, it just doesn't work that way.
Well, just recently, you and I went to go to see Interstellar.
Yeah.
On its 10th anniversary.
Yep.
And I love that movie. Unabashedly love it. But, yeah, the stuff in space...
Yep.
It feels different.
It looks different.
It looks like they're just, like, on wires and stuff. This, I truly remember watching it being like, they are in fucking space.
Yeah.
Because they're filming in space.
Were, effectively.
How are they not? Like, and just, yes, I don't know, that level of detail and attention to it and appreciation for how much they have to have, like, when they're eating stuff or throwing stuff around, like, it's... You feel that they're in space.
It's so cool.
I agree. The practical effects
cool.
sets
everything
apart.
It's just everything about this, in terms of the scene by scene by scene in space, feels as if they shot it in space.
Yes,
and that is.
Well, and it's also.
I can't even think of another example of this to tell you. Look at this. I'm sure they exist. Other people did that, but
Not like
to
this.
Not like this.
No. And
in the tight corridors.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The whole
it's the
thing.
compact,
Oh,
tight
man.
sequences where
Like,
they are.
You got to think like they're like touching each other's junk and just totally fine. Like,
But
are they
like-
just- I mean, these
like you said,
actors are
They go,
uncomfortable.
they go up in a plane and like
They
Ron
drop.
Howard's like, you have 60 seconds.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Whatever it is to like make this work. And so they're having to film tight sequences, make this work, cool. And they like level
Yep.
out and they go back
Back
up,
up
and
and
they
do it again.
And it is totally believable. And I'm sure there were times where they had to probably use some kind of wires when they're hanging out.
I
but
would think so.
it doesn't like
but
it just feels like
yeah,
it just hits different. I
Yep.
agree. The practical effects, it's unreal
Yeah.
what they're able to
It's-
accomplish.
It's unlike anything I could tell you. Like, it,
And so for me, what
I don't even know.
I mean,
I'm just dumbfounded by this movie. Every time I watch this movie, I was like, it makes me feel so good.
Yes.
When I watch this movie.
Yes.
At no point do I feel bad.
No.
Watching this movie.
No.
Oh man.
But we've talked about in I think of We Were Soldiers back when
Okay.
we reviewed that.
Oh,
where
great movie. But yeah.
exactly it works in such a great way because it's on the front lines and then back at home.
Yeah.
And this movie is so
Sure. Yes.
freaking good.
Yeah.
When it bounces back between three different, like in the ship, the three men trying to survive.
Yeah.
With the family dynamics back on
Mhm.
Earth. I don't know why I'm crying. Like tearing up because like
Dude,
it's a
but
visual thing, but then you add in the
when
Houston element of them
when
trying
his
to
son asks about the fucking door,
don't even talk about that. It's
just
like, oh my
come
god,
on.
what's the door?
Come
Oh
on,
my God.
every time.
Oh,
But then
exactly,
yes,
yeah.
then they're in,
And then
well,
Houston being like, we're gonna try and like scientifically, we need
that's
to
what I
save
wanna know.
them.
Are they? I think I feel like he's in Cape Canaveral.
It might
still,
be, yeah.
right? Because
No,
Ken Mattingly was there for the launch.
oh true.
And then
yeah.
he went
Sorry, yeah.
home, and I assume he had a thing. And so they probably got him, and they have the,
And you never
then they brought him to because
they
Houston
must have
is
brought-
where
yeah.
Mission
The- yeah, Mission
Control
Control
is,
is, yeah,
but
like,
the
yeah.
stuff and the research and stuff. Anyway, yeah.
So that whole bouncing around between what's happening in space and then the family dynamics and the mom trying to like just keep it like together and then them trying to figure out how do we fit a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah.
It's so fantastic. It just elevates it to greatness.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's fine enough where they're just trying to figure it out, but all these characters come together
Mhm.
and you are compelled and you're just along for the ride. And you can see some freaking out, and Ed Harris's character, I forget his name, like just so great, like solve the problem.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And that pressure on him to like,
it
we're
Gene?
not going to lose
Gene?
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gene.
Gene.
Yeah. Like just
Yeah.
so incredible. And yeah, so I think I agree. It works for the rescue mission, but it elevates it because it keeps it grounded, no pun intended, with the family and what they're trying to manage for like, they might like, they're going to watch on TV.
Mhm.
They might die on TV. That's crazy what they were able to do. So, and again, the entire time, you know, they live.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
That's the best part. You know they live. And yet, dear God, every single thing they're trying to solve, it's still compelling.
Mhm.
And you're on the edge of your seat, watching them trying to figure out, like, I mean, it's a movie about amps. Really? Like, we're going to say, if you go over 20 amps, they die.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And yet you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And like,
Yeah.
how are they going to do it? Oh my God, please do it. So I agree. It's the tactile experience of it all. And
Yeah.
the characters they build. So
It's so good. I wish I had done more research a little bit because, like, just at some point, I remember thinking I was watching it with Matt. And I was kind of doing my thing, and then I was doing research after, and I was kind of like trying to find trivia, and I was like, "What more can you say about this movie?" And I think it's more about our perspective. And for me personally, I think this movie represents in 126 movies that we've covered or whatever it is. What, as a movie fan, as somebody I want movies to succeed, this is the movie. Like, these are the type of movies that I want more of.
Yes.
Like, give me more of this.
Yep.
Like, I cannot even express how much better a movie-going experience is when it is real, when it is grounded in realism. Even if it were all CGI, but still found a way, because like Lord of the Rings is a ton of CGI, but it still finds a way to ground it in gravity.
Yes.
One of our favorite movie-going experiences.
Yes.
And it is like, I don't even know. I will say, I want to hop off. I want to talk about the visual effects real quick, because that's where this is 50-50. 30 years on, there are some visual effects that are still outstanding.
Totally.
Was it even up for visual effects? Was it on your list? I assume so.
Yeah, it was.
But then there are some that I'm like, whoa, buddy, this did not hold up well.
Yeah.
That was an afterthought of a visual effects shot. So that is the only quibble I have for this movie. Like, because
like when they're like standing in front of like the stuff moving on the like space station, like on Cape Canaveral, behind them, the spatial,
and then as it got up, as it started getting up and higher into the sky, and it kind of like turned, and then the jet popped in. I was like, oh, okay, this looks bad.
Yeah,
this looks bad.
Yeah,
but I will say, it still looks better. It still looks better than a lot of things that are out on TV now and things like that. I mean, like they're still. I mean, it was acceptably not great. But what it does well, the visual effects are outstanding. It feels like you're really legitimately in space as they're flying towards the moon. You're like, I feel like I'm in space. I don't know what it's like, but I bet it's like that.
Well, and think about like what I love about the movie is
I'm always every time I talk about this movie, I'm always like
just overwhelmed.
Oh my god, yes.
But here's why I think it, again, one of the areas why it's great is that it makes the problems accessible.
Sure. Yeah.
Like breaking down, we can stop the momentum and turn around now, or we're going to add time to this mission and shoot them around the moon.
Literally.
And come back. Like, use the gravitation of the moon as a slingshot, but we're going to have to ask our astronauts to be basically frozen.
Right.
And who knows what's going to happen. And then as every single thing goes wrong, they have to account for, like, oh, the lunar module is going to be our homing, like, we're going to stay here.
Which we've never tested for. Yeah.
Oh, but we also have the calculations for 2 people, not 3. Crap. And so we're going to have to like deal with carbon monoxide or dioxide like poisoning.
Yeah.
And like, it's everything that's broken down where it's a combination of them talking about it, the scientists dealing with it, and then either it's recreated or used footage from the time of the scientists explaining on TV what's going to happen.
Combo of both. Yeah.
Like all those, like it's so compelling and gravitating from the audience. And that's, I agree. Like it's one thing just to be like, oh, there's this, there's that. Oh, it's bad. But to make it accessible where you're like, how are they going to solve this? They have to figure this out. And then to the point where, they're going to have to figure out the amount of power because if they overwhelm the system, they're done. Oh, cracked shield for the heat shield.
Yeah,
like
potentially,
all these things. Absolutely like edge of your seat. Again, they survive. And then you watch, you go, oh my God, I cannot believe they've solved this problem.
Yeah.
In like a limited time window where they're like, we don't have all this time. Like, we got to get around the moon. But then as they're coming back, it's like, okay, what's this problem? What's this problem? Now you got to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, meanwhile, Fredo's getting sick. One of your astronauts is like super sick. So,
which I don't even know if that really happened or not, but I love
I don't care.
I love the idea that Mattingly doesn't get sick on Earth, but then you send the guy. No, Swigert takes over for him, and then Fred takes, he's the one who gets sick. But you're kind of like, the irony that there is a sick person up there, but it's not the way you would think.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it works because Ken stays back on Earth and then has to solve the problems in the simulator.
That's
how it works.
Back to what you were talking about, the back on Earth stuff, because like the reality of up in space is they're literally just being shot towards the moon and waiting to be slungshot back. Like there's not a ton that happens really in between once they get it back on track in terms of going towards
Except
the moon.
that sequence where they got to do the burn for 10 seconds is intense.
But that's coming back.
Sure. True.
Is what I'm saying. Between when things go to shit and then they're coming back around, and that whole 37 seconds of a burn, that's intense. But that's where the on Earth stuff is so key.
Yeah.
Because it grounds you in like the realism of the home and then the Ken Manley in the simulator.
Yeah.
Like that totally grounds everything. Like, so, I don't even know if I have anything else, man.
I got 2 more.
What do you got? I'll play off of it. Because I can talk about this movie. I can talk about this movie for hours. But from a podcast standpoint or whatever, I got nothing to offer.
Yeah,
like,
so
I'm just
good.
like, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So, I love that it's like an incredibly ahead of its time commentary.
Okay.
Even though, again, it was a historical reflection of how something amazing and heroic they landed on the moon.
Right.
Became pedestrian and unremarkable
In a year and a half.
within no time. And just until it became dramatic and people's lives were at stake and everyone then started paying attention.
Yeah.
And man, I was like struck by like the whole idea now of like, if it bleeds, it leads, kind of like gravitating. I was like, amazing. And then it's pretty routine. Ooh, but then there's drama. So like, I loved that
It's an
interplay.
interesting point, because you do go like everyone loves to shit on modern people. It'd be like, oh, if it doesn't go wrong.
Oh,
blah, blah, blah.
Back in the 70s.
Back in the 60s and 70s, all it took was a year and a half, and you guys were like, oh, we were only behind this because we wanted to beat the Russians.
Yeah. And I love that scene where they're in space filming it, thinking America's gravitated to it.
What
This
we
is like,
saw
wow.
earlier on like
Yes.
the moon landing and probably like that, that's what we're experiencing now.
Yes. So I love that. Like,
Nope.
I didn't appreciate the commentary watching it now and be like, oh no, it was a great choice to add in.
Yeah.
That now people give a shit if they're possibly going to die. Can we just say really quick?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
Yep.
We love him.
Of course.
So great. Just effortless in this.
It's gross how good he is.
As far as like just right? Charismatic and yet so commanding and just solid.
Yeah.
That I don't know that I appreciated until like just watching it.
Was
like,
he up for this?
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't, right?
No.
Yeah.
It was Ed Harris and then I forget her name. The
Kathy
wife.
Quinlan.
Yeah. So like, great, but he's just so effortless in this freaking movie. He's so great. But everybody else around him, like,
literally
it's great.
100% of the cast in this movie is great.
Yeah.
There is not a weak link from the top to the bottom.
Nope.
There's not like a producer's cousin who just comes in with a line of God
Or
knows
Ron
what.
Howard's brother. Like,
There's- Well, and even then, Clint Howard, I will like,
He's
Clint
so
is
great, yeah.
Clint Howard is awesome in
Yes.
everything he does.
Yes.
It is, everybody in this movie, everybody involved in this movie is great, but from an acting perspective, they're just exactly what you need them to
Yes.
be in that role. If I had to pinpoint one person, now I get it, Kevin Spacey won and should have won for Usual Suspect for a supporting actor.
Sure.
But Ed Harris is, to me, the standout performance of this movie. Like, it is, like, because he has to be the sort of, like, positive ringleader on Earth.
Yeah.
And then that means keep them involved. Like, somehow they have to be up in space, kept in check.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everything has to go through him. Gene is outstanding. I think he doesn't have a showy role. He doesn't have a
True.
like, except for like kicking the thing and saying like we're not, like I don't want another estimate. We're not,
Yeah.
But he is so good in this movie to
Yeah.
me. Like similar to Hanks in space, it's him on Earth, right? Like
Yeah.
and so
Like when he says
Paxton's
like
fine,
the NASA lead or whatever, like with all due respect, I think this might be our
my
greatest
finest
moment.
hour.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like just that
It's not
weight
even,
of like,
Yeah.
don't fuck with him, man.
Yeah. He's like, yeah,
We are so
we're
close
done.
to getting him home.
Yes. Yeah. Ed Harris is outstanding in this. Everybody is outstanding in this movie.
Yes.
There's not a single weak link. Like even the kids are pretty good in this movie.
They're good.
Like everybody. Like
Yeah.
Rance Howard is good in this in terms of like just as
Oh,
the
she's so
priest
great.
or whatever.
Yes.
Like it's just
So we're gonna talk about the score.
yeah. Oh yeah. The score. At some
Okay.
point I'm gonna actually do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever listened to Il Postino, the score?
I mean, didn't it win for
It won for best score that year.
Yeah.
I never listened to it until yesterday.
Okay.
And I was actually laughing as I was driving home from work, being like, you have to be
I mean, I've seen the
kidding me.
movie and I can picture the score.
It's a very Italian accordion kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
James Horner had Braveheart
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
I think that's what killed him this year.
and this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, dude, you split the vote because Braveheart to me should have won. Without any doubt. Like, Braveheart's, like, the bagpipes, like,
Interesting, 'cause
bombastic.
I
yeah.
actually think this is James Horner's one of his best scores.
Oh, I think,
Actually, probably both of them are in
Yeah.
his top
Top five. Yeah, I would say so.
You could have picked, and maybe that's why he screwed himself. in that
Maybe.
sense. But Il
But-
Postino, I agree, is no.
It
In
is.
comparison to either one of these, like, give me a break.
It's a freaking joke.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love this score.
it's so wonderful.
And then, by the way, also, I didn't realize, I did learn something this time. I did not notice Annie Lennox was.
You didn't know that?
I honestly did not know
Oh.
that she was in that, like, as they go behind the moon or whatever. and
Yes!
She's
She's the voice.
special.
The end
like,
credits.
Yeah.
It,
I
like,
did not realize that was Annie
Oh,
Lennox.
it lives like rent free in
When
my
I
head.
hear it, I'm like, oh, totally Annie Lennox.
Oh.
But I if I knew it, I had forgotten it because of all the times
It's so incredible.
Yeah.
Her, I mean, it's definitely a precursor to Titanic, or like with the like voice,
Sure.
but also like
Yeah.
post Abyss. But anyway, and there's times where I'm like, it's very much James Horner rips himself off like nobody else.
James Horner absolutely rips
It's like,
himself
I'm
off.
just gonna repeat this.
Yes,
like that's Patriot
it
Games.
is hard. Thomas
That's
Newman
this.
does the same thing.
Sure.
Like I agree because as I'm listening, but this is why I love both of these scores in this particular year.
Yeah.
Is Braveheart, he takes what he did in previous years with whatever he's got coming up to it, but then he adds the bagpipes, that sort of like localization of it, and then Apollo 13 he takes everything he's done before,
Yes,
and he adds Annie Lennox and he adds his vocals, and then I feel like it's one of the first time he's doing what Titanic did, where it's almost got that like little staccato, like
Yeah, like the wood blocks. Yeah.
you know, and that it's kind of one of the first time he does that.
Yep.
But he's so heavy on like the I don't know,
the flare
or like the
French horn flare.
but even
yeah.
beyond that, like I can't even whatever they are, like those giant like hanging bells that like hang like
yeah,
gung, you know.
Yes.
He definitely has that, like in Field of Dreams, right?
Oh sure.
Where you have that like bong, and then like there's like vibration or whatever. Like
Yeah.
he's done that for years.
Yes.
But he starts in this to really, in both those movies, to kind of transition a little.
Yeah.
To the point where, I mean, this is the precursor of him winning a couple years on
Yes.
with Titanic. I mean, like,
So
anyway,
it worked out eventually for him, but I
agree.
I truly left.
Especially if you compare it to Il Postino. Like, I mean, give me. Yeah,
This
if, you,
week,
if
like,
Braveheart won this
won
instead
best?
of him or
What?
whatever, yeah.
I was like, this is absurd.
What else was up that year, too?
Nixon.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which is what?
John Williams.
Yeah, Williams. It's fine.
And then I don't know the other one. I did not pay attention. I should have taken notes. But
Come on, Tim.
yeah. But yeah, I was like, I mean, I get you split the vote. That's fine.
I
Braveheart.
think he
Braveheart
did
should've
probably
won.
kill himself that year in
Yeah.
terms of,
But
music.
the fact that like, oh, we'll give it to
Because this
Il
is back
Postino.
when there was musical or comedy score. Dramatic score. Il Postino.
Yeah.
Apollo 13, Braveheart, Nixon, and then Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ultimately, you're
Okay.
just like,
Cool.
okay.
But this is this is top 5 in his
Oh my God.
catalog.
This is one of the few movies of his that I can actually tell is Apollo 13.
Yes.
Like I can hear it and I go, oh, I can hear a little bit of the other,
Yep.
what came before, but no, this is Apollo
But the
13.
end credit sequence, just listen on Spotify. It's so
Yeah,
incredible.
It's way, yep. Any others?
No.
It's
keep,
so
we'll
good.
keep gushing.
I know.
I'm
I
so
feel
glad
like,
we watched
I feel
it.
like this
I'm
is
so
a
glad-
waste of an episode.
No,
only
I'm
'cause
so,
I'm
but
like,
no, I'd rather watch this than like some bullshit of 2005 where like there's boring as hell.
I mean, like,
so
I mean, we could have watched Constantine, which I actually do love that movie. But I'm
fine.
just like, I want to talk about Apollo 13 because I do feel like to your point, you said like 9 Oscar nominations. I think people forget about this movie.
yeah.
I also think, Tim, do you think Braveheart should have won Best Picture this year?
I have no doubts it should have.
Really?
Absolutely. Sorry.
I'm in the opposite.
Oh,
I have no doubt
Dude.
that Apollo 13 should have beaten Braveheart.
no. I will say 1A to 1B. Like Braveheart, come on, dude.
Yeah.
The
Come
epic
on, dude.
scale. It's like Lawrence of Arabia,
Yeah. From an epic
Dances with
standpoint,
Wolves.
sure.
like Braveheart, what they accomplished.
Mhm.
It's an incredible film.
I'm not arguing that. And
I think
still
Apollo 13 is still-
should have won over it.
I think-
do.
No,
I do. I think it should have won. I think it's a better movie.
I don't think so.
I think from a epic standpoint, you can give me Braveheart for sure. Like I mean, like I'm not arguing
I
the
love this movie.
scale of Braveheart, but I will say you could cut 45 minutes of Braveheart, and I would be just fine with that. There's not there's not a ton from Braveheart in terms of like it's 3 hours long. Speaking
Yeah,
of,
it
but
is.
also speaking
It
of
is.
movies we're not covering this year is Braveheart.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? We're covering Apollo 13. We're talking about right now. We're not covering Braveheart.
But
I'm just saying.
we didn't cover American Beauty. and
Yeah,
that one Best
but at
Picture.
no point were you like, oh, we got to cover. Neither one of us
No,
were like, we
because,
got to cover
like,
Braveheart.
Braveheart's a one where like
I don't want to watch Braveheart again. I love that movie, but I don't feel like I want to seek out watching that again.
sure, but that doesn't mean it doesn't think it won Best Picture.
I think you should. I'm just saying.
No, we've talked before about like rewatchability, interest, appreciation versus like what we think should have won Best Picture. Like
Mhm.
in '99 last year, we talked about different movies. We didn't watch American Beauty together, and that won Best Picture.
Yeah, but I don't
We
think
talked about
either
it.
one of us think American Beauty should have won Best Picture that year, though.
I mean,
I
sure.
don't mind that it won Best Picture. It doesn't
Yes.
offend me. I don't mind that Braveheart won Best Picture. I mean,
Yeah.
to your point, it's 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Apollo 13 should have won in terms of a like long-standing 50 years from now looking back kind of a thing. I think I look at Apollo 13, and I'm not going to win this argument. It's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, like, my question was, in your opinion, Braveheart,
I think Braveheart
unapologetically should have
won Best Picture. Yes, without a doubt.
And I understand why Braveheart won,
Yeah.
but I would have said Apollo 13.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, and even at the time, which is why Braveheart was a little surprising, is because Apollo 13 won the Producers Guild for
Yeah.
Picture and won Directors Guild at that year. And then Mel Gibson comes in and wins Director and Best Picture. Like,
Yeah.
it was very surprising
Yeah.
that Braveheart won that year. Both of us were too young to understand the sort of historical significance of that.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, I get it. But it is like, I personally think Apollo 13 is I don't know about better, but I would pick that over Braveheart.
I mean, I have memories
Better
of
is
seeing...
hard to say, like,
Sure.
because they're fundamentally very different.
Totally.
films. Like, there's, I mean, like, they're not even
I have
close.
memories of seeing both in the theater.
Good for
Truly.
you.
I know. Like, with Anil, seeing Braveheart,
Mhm.
being floored by that film.
Sure.
And this was definitely a similar type of, oh my God, it's incredible type of thing. Like, that's
Right.
a movie. But no, I think, yeah.
I mean,
1A
they're
to
both
1B.
good. Like,
yeah.
I don't want this to come out with, like, Steve doesn't like Braveheart.
No, I get it.
But I'm just like, if I were to pick, you would, like, gun to my head, pick a movie from 1995 to win Best Picture, I would say Apollo 13.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Yep. I respect
I
that.
don't know. As per usual in my life, I don't know what button I should hit here. So I'm going to go with that one.
As per usual.
I'm going up there. I'm going to try it. I'm going to let the jury decide.
As we close out our spotlight segment, we come to our final takes called The Verdict.
If we are to have faith and justice, we need only to believe in ourselves.
This is where Tim and I give our final verdicts after rewatching the film and decide whether or not the movie held up over the course of 2 decades.
Now you get out of here before I call the bailiff and have you thrown in jail.
This is The Verdict.
I said to hell with it, to hell with it.
Like, that's really good.
Tim, you can go first.
So I would say actually it's a film which I admittedly kind of forgot is as good as it is. I knew it was great, but it's like, oh, damn it, that's good.
Is it this good?
Yeah. Apollo 15 tells the true story of NASA's rescue mission of 3 men stranded in space and the extraordinary efforts to get them home safely. The rare film which keeps you on the edge of your seat, even though you know the ending, led by just perfect performances from all involved and confident direction from Howard, which is a rarity in many ways because he's kind of hit or miss, but
overrated.
Is definitely one of his, probably his best. Who made the wise choice to film the outer space sequences practically in 0G. It's just a wonderful, which gets a bad rap. It's a crowd pleaser of a film that still, goddamn, it gets me every time I watch it. I'm just crying every time they eventually come out of blackout. It's so damn good.
It's a go-to cry movie.
5 out of 5 for me. Actually, no notes. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Apollo 13 is still to this day a film that I go to when I want to feel something on the inside, which is rare. The film represents what can be done in Hollywood when all aspects, writing, directing, acting, visual effects, cinematography, the score, and more come together and work together all at the height of their game. There is not a single weak link in this entire chain, except for maybe the O2 tank that blew up. It is unapologetically one of my favorite movies of all time, and in my opinion was the best of film of 1995, and can be considered Ron Howard's best film by far and away. Nailed it! 5 out of 5 as well for me. The movie, it is movie magic at its best.
So good. Smash those buttons.
The exciting quiz program 21.
Our final segment of the episode is Quiz Show.
I've stood on the shoulders of life, and I've never gotten down into the dirt to build.
Where in our research for our subject film, we find some interesting trivia nuggets that we hope will stump the other and possibly intrigue you.
This is not McCarthyism. You're not here to expose for the sake of exposure.
This is Quiz Show.
Well, evidently certain of the contestants were given the answers in advance.
Cheating on a quiz show. It's like plagiarizing a comic strip.
All right, Tim, what do you got? How many
I
do you got?
3.
Okay, so I have 2. So why don't you go first?
So Kevin Bacon in this, he's been in so many movies, he, as we all know, has his own game.
Oh God, are you going to make me 6 Degrees this?
No.
Okay.
So clearly he's had quite the storied film career, yet he had his big screen debut in what 1978 college set comedy classic.
That would be Animal House.
Nice.
Yes.
Well
Like,
done.
yeah, there we go.
That's the one. Yep.
Yep. All right, there we go.
No. Although this is one movie, if you ever play it,
Mhm.
it's so great because of Tom Hanks, Ed Harris. Like, it's a great one to
Yeah.
have if you ever do that. But
Oh, I thought you were talking about Animal House. Like,
no. Sorry.
have you even
Apologies.
seen that movie, Tim?
I have.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I'm kind of curious.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's one of those, like, I can appreciate the time it came out, but not my jam.
No, I
But yeah,
agree.
he's like the whole
It's-
thank you,
I mean,
sir,
it's
man,
kind of
brother.
like it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Can I have another? Whatever it is.
Yep.
All right. So Tim, of the principal 5 actors, Hanks, Paxton, Bacon, Sinise, and Harris. You have no idea where this is going. 4 of them have had their voices featured on the all-time comedy classic sitcom Frasier as call-in actors.
Did not
or
see that
call-in
coming.
people.
Sure.
Care to guess, Tim, which one of those 5, Hanks, Paxton, Bacon, Sinise, and Harris, do not have that credit on their filmography?
Sinise.
That is incorrect, good sir.
Son of a mother.
I didn't load the wrong buzzer up. Tom Hanks has not.
Really?
He was not a call-in, but
would've.
the other 4 all had call-in credits
I love that.
on Frasier.
That's really good.
Mm.
Nice work. I love it. So, speaking of Tom Hanks,
Sure.
he's been directed by Ron Howard in 5 total films,
Okay.
including this one.
Yep.
So, can you guess the other 4 films
Oh
that
my
he's
God.
worked with Ron Howard?
Okay. So
We'll get there.
Okay, I'm gonna load in
Yeah.
real quick because I want to get the wrong buzzer in here just so I get.
We
at least
talked
one of
about
them.
one.
So all right, so the other 4,
Other 4.
Splash
Correct.
is 1.
Yep.
Da Vinci Code
Correct.
is 2. So we've got. So I need 2 more.
Correct.
I mean, did he direct Angels and Demons?
Correct.
Okay, that's 3. And then, oh God, he didn't do Inferno, did he?
He sure did.
Oh God.
I know. I'm like, once you get in that world of
Oh,
the
God.
Dan Brown world,
I
you're
mean,
set.
like, I like those first 2.
Yes.
And then Inferno was just an absolute dumpster fire of a movie.
Yes.
That book is better than the movie. That
Oh.
is a book is way better
Oh.
than the movie.
All the books are way better than the movie.
Yeah, fair point. Although Da Vinci Code,
It's a
I
solid
think it's about
adaptation,
even.
yeah.
I will say it's about even because I think Dan Brown is a garbage writer in terms of his like quality of a
I'm reading
writer.
Lost Symbol and I'm like,
He's
dear
a
God.
Lost Symbol is
It's
rough,
so tough.
rough.
Yeah.
But like Da Vinci Code, I think I always remember when Jacques Saunier is being killed.
Yes.
And he says like Jacques Saunier like couldn't see that he was a shadowy figure, and then he
Yeah.
talks about how he could see the red in his eyes, and it's like you just said you just said it's a shadowy figure. How do you see the red in his eyes?
Pick
He's
a
not
lane.
a robot in like space.
Yeah.
Dan Brown. Like, God. Also, I will say, I'm going to rant a bit just for a second
Ooh, I
on
like
Robert
it.
Langdon, in that he is the most. I like Robert Langdon as a character,
He's
but the
fine.
fact that he's a symbiotic
Yeah.
has nothing to do, especially with Da Vinci Code, with the story of any kind.
No.
His knowledge, his base of knowledge, has nothing to do
Yeah.
with the entire story
Yeah.
at all.
Everybody else clarifies it for
it's,
him.
It's little quizzes along the way that anybody could have figured that his background has nothing to do with it. All that is Dan Brown being like, I'm going to write myself into these
I like
stories.
this stuff.
I
I
have a
figured it out."
patch on my elbow.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Fucking Nate Dan
Yeah.
Brown.
But I do
Anyway, I got those right. So
think you did all of it. Yeah. I think Angels and Demons is his best one.
It is the best book
It's so good.
by far,
Yes.
and the movie is good, but they still screw it up. That is absolutely the best book of all of them.
Yep.
And it's the first, right? Isn't
Yep,
it the
it is
first of
first.
the
Yeah, it's
Robert
first.
Langdon? So
Yep,
I mean,
it's
well,
first.
no, he had the. I think there was one other one. Before,
it's first
wasn't it?
Robert Langdon. Dan Brown had 2 books prior to that.
But the Langdon,
but
that
not
was his
Langdon.
first.
Yes,
All right.
exactly. Yep.
Anyway,
Good job.
Tim. How many Howards are in this film? How many members of the Howard family make appearances in this
Clint
film?
Howard is in there, his brother.
Clint is correct, and Clint Howard, MTV Movie Award Lifetime Achievement Award winner.
Yes.
Yep.
His dad is in it as the
Rance
priest.
Howard, the Reverend. Yep.
I think his mom is Howell's mom.
Howell's mom?
Oh, no, whatever.
Lovell's mom.
Lovell's mom. Yeah.
Good for you.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah,
That's 3.
mom.
All right. I'll give you a pass on the other 2.
I don't know the other ones. No.
So Bryce Dallas is actually in this.
Really?
As just like uncredited girl in yellow dress. Like she's just
Hanging
there,
out,
probably because she's hanging out.
Sure.
And then his wife is Cheryl Howard is in there as well, just as like an onlooker in the back.
Sure.
So principally,
yes,
you got the 3 right. So I'm gonna give you a wrong, but technically 5 members of the Howard family are
hanging out
in
there. Yeah.
the movie. Yeah.
But the main ones we know.
I gave you the 3. I didn't even give you a wrong buzzer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Tracy Reiner, she plays the wife of crew member Fred Hayes.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yet, this is not the first, nor would it be the last film she would co-star with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
In what 1988, 92, and 96 films did she work with Tom Hanks?
Okay. 1992 is League of Their Own.
Correct.
Because that's my favorite movie of all time. So I already know that because she's Betty.
Yep.
Betty Spaghetti, and her husband dies in that one. So that's Betty. 1988.
88.
Is that big?
It is big.
It's big. And then 1996.
96.
With Hanks.
With Hanks. Did she work with him?
Worked with him? Hold on. Like they shared a credit, or
they are both working on that film.
Oh, see what the shit, dude. I mean, like, is that thing you do?
It is. Yeah.
I'll take it.
I know. I'm like, yep. It's not quite co-starring type of thing, but yeah.
Again, I say Tom Hanks had the greatest stretch.
Oh, dude.
It's the best 10-year stretch in all of
unreal
film.
Yes.
I think we maybe talked about it in the past,
Yeah,
but
did.
it is just the best. But A League of Their Own, one of my favorite films of all time.
Nice work.
Boom.
Boom.
Oh, thank you. So that brings us to the end of the episode. Be sure to find all of our previous episodes on your favorite streaming platforms. And stay tuned for our themed look back at the films in 1995 with 2 Brad Pitt films, 7 and 12 Monkeys, or as my notes say, Sev. Find us on the web.
Much.
Yeah, the N was a bit much.
Yeah.
Find us on the web via the metaverse of Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, and head to 20years4views.com for more info. We want to say thank you for taking the time to listen and for clicking that like or subscribe button on your devices. This has been 20 Years, 4 Beers. My name is Steve.
I'm Tim.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks.
If anyone listening doesn't like this movie, get the fuck out.
You know they live.
By far and away. Nailed it. Oh, see what the shit, dude. I mean, like... If you don't know, get on fucking board.